Hey you guys, and welcome to another episode of Wide Open Wednesday, where I answer your questions that you've submitted on my Instagram. You guys came up with some really great questions this week, and I'm so excited to talk about them, so let's get to it. Alright, Emma Equine03 wanted to know how she can get a mentor like Jenna. Well, I've talked about this before, but I'm excited to share this information with you. The number one piece of advice I can give you on how to find a mentor like Jenna is simply ask. That's what I did. I asked Jenna if she would help me and mentor me and coach me along. I think a lot of time our fears hold us back from asking someone to be our coach or trainer or mentor. And also, if you look at Jenna's e-course on how she captured a world champion mentor like Fallon Taylor, she talks about adding value back to her life. She helps her drive, she helps with horses, this type of thing. So make sure when you're asking for a mentor, you're giving back to them just as much, if not more, than you're receiving from them. Also, when you ask someone to be your mentor, that can be kind of an overwhelming term, and they might think, oh my gosh, this is going to take a lot of time and energy from me. Start by asking just small questions. I ask anyone and everyone for help and advice, people at jackpots that are doing well, this type of thing. And I can learn a little bit from everyone, and I think you can too. Okay, Alyssa Ashby asked a question last week that I didn't get to that I really wanted to answer today, and it was how to create an environment where motivation can thrive. I think this is such an important topic. Is creating these positive environments where motivation and positivity can flourish. And I would say that the first thing you need to keep in mind is in order to receive positivity, you have to give positivity. And so whenever I'm at a jackpot or at work or just in my daily environment, I try to build people up around me. And if I'm a positive person and I'm putting this positivity out there, then I get it back almost tenfold. And I see this manifest with my friends. I see this manifest at my job and also at jackpots. So in order to create these environments, you have to be putting it out there. You can't just sit around and wait for someone to motivate you or to inspire and uplift you. You have to be that person for others. Okay, let's see what else. And the next question is from Jen Aylin, I believe. Sorry guys, I'm really bad at names. She wants to know what my favorite beauty products are. You always have that beautiful glow. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was really nice of you to say. My little dog is like chewing the rug. Stella, no chewing the rug. You can't do that. Say hi. Hi everyone. Okay, we're gonna talk about beauty products, Stella. So you just be quiet and just sit here. Good girl. Okay. The beauty products that I use, I'll be honest with you, I try to use as many Walmart hacks as possible. Makeup is so expensive. Like Sephora will bankrupt me. So I try to use a lot of just cheap Walmart products. The foundation I use is L'Oreal True Match. You can see that. So this is pretty cheap at Walmart for foundation. This is like my contour stick. Again, I think this was about $3 at Walmart. So super cheap products like that. It's all, I think, in how you apply it. I've looked at a lot of like YouTube tutorials. So it's about like how you're putting on contour, how you're blending it. I do use the Beauty Blender. But there are a couple products that I do buy at Sephora. I buy the good stuff because I think I haven't found a good Walmart hack for them yet, basically. And one of them is the Translucent Illuminating Powder from Laura Mercier. Is this one. And then my highlight. I really love this stuff, but don't go overboard because you'll look sweaty. But it's the Becca highlight. Looks like a little saucer, a little space saucer. So thank you so much. That was really nice of you to say. Let's see. What's our next question? Oh, Bakaru Boutique 7 asked for advice for tendon support during the race. Okay, I think this is really important as protective gear for ourselves and our horses. I use protective boots on my horses every single ride, not just during runs. So I will never get on a horse without front and back boots, as well as overreach boots. So I think that type of protection is so important. I look at how beat up those boots get on my horses and how quickly that happens, and I just think, oh my goodness, I'm just grateful that it's not their legs that are getting that type of beating. I think it's important to keep in mind too that tendon health starts out of the arena. It starts with what you're feeding them. So overall wellness and body condition starts with nutrition. Lisa Suzanne Martin asked, what do I feed? And so I'm going to talk about that now. I am so fortunate to be able to keep my horses out on a lush green pasture for about 8 months out of the year. It's about 10 acres, and I'm really, really grateful to have that. I know that not everyone has that luxury. I really believe in letting horses be horses as much as possible, and that includes having space to move around. That means being in a herd environment and in being able to eat off the ground. Also, when my pasture dies in the winter, I feed high-quality alfalfa, the highest quality I can find, no weeds. And then year-round, I'll feed about a quart a day to each horse of cob oats. That's corn, oats, and barley. I recently started feeding them the hotter variety, the wet one with molasses in it, because now I have a hop-blooded racehorse. So I'm feeding them that. Also the 4-H horse for my niece. He's a little bit thin, so we got to keep weight on him, so I like that one for him. I'm not huge into overloading our horses with a bunch of supplements. It's just my personal preference. I do feed them one kind of really mild supplement, and it's more like a multivitamin, if you think about it, and it's called Hay Balancer. It's milled here in Utah. It was actually invented by my vet's grandfather, so I kind of love that sort of Utah tie as well. But it's basically like a multivitamin, 2 scoops a day, mix it with their grain. So that works out really well. Okay, let's see what else. Samantha T. 1716 asked about what drills do I do for rate on a horse that blows by the barrel. There was a couple others that asked questions like that. Amy Kiera asked for the technique on the first barrel, as well as Teden 19, whose horse seems to be blowing by that first barrel. Usually when people ask questions about rate, it's regarding the first barrel, because that's usually the one that horses are going to blow by the most. So a couple things on this. Set your horse up for success. That first barrel is all about 2 things, rate and creating a wide enough pocket. Make it comfortable for them to turn that barrel. When you give them enough pocket and enough rate, it's not going to be as jarring an experience, so they're not going to be as likely to blow by it. Every horse is different, so you just need to experiment with how fast you can go into it, how much rate you're going to need, and how big of a pocket your horse is going to want too. Lisa Lockhart, I saw a YouTube video once where she talked about she holds her horses back. She doesn't really let them run full out to that first barrel. She feels like if she can get success in that first barrel, then the rest of her run is going to be pretty good as well. I like to make that pocket area by the first barrel a really happy, enjoyable place for my horses. So I will typically, when I'm done riding, loosen the cinch and take off their boots at that first barrel and just pet them and let them relax there. So when they get to that spot, they think, now I can relax. I do a couple drills also that I think help with that first barrel and with rate. And it's what I call the interval training. It's best when done on a flat track, but you can also do an arena, just do it around the edge. I will let my horse run full out, just sprinting. I will lean forward in the jockey position, move my hands forward, kiss to them, smooch to them. All my energy is sending them forward, and I'll let them do that for a few seconds, and then I will lean back like a reiner asking for a sliding stop. I'm going to relax my body. I'm going to slowly start picking up on those reins, and I'm going to give them a vocal cue also. We give our horses vocal cues to speed up, so why wouldn't we do it to slow down? When I was showing reining horses, I would hum to my horses when I went from a large fast circle to a small slow. But with Striker, I just say the word easy. I don't think he speaks English, that he knows what that word means, but I think it has a lot to do with the tone of how I say it. I say it really calm and slow. This helps your horse learn that your body position and your voice and your energy tells him when he can go fast and when he needs to slow back down for that rate. Another thing that I do is I back my horses a lot. Now, when I say a lot, I don't mean that I back the whole length of the arena at one time. I think you can train the back out of them when you do something like that. But what I will do is back about 10, maybe 15 feet, 5-6 times during a practice. When I pick up on those reins, I want their face to give in to that bit and to be really soft and supple and to get back. So every time I pick up, I want that horse to be respectful of the bit. Let's see, there's one other thing I want to say on that. Oh, yeah. Regarding the first barrel, Sherry Survey is one of my favorite trainers ever. She's amazing. She teaches her horses that the first move when they get to the barrel is not to lean into the barrel, but it's actually to move off the barrel. She wants that first move at every barrel to be away from the barrel. I thought it was really a unique concept that I hadn't thought about before. This keeps your horse from shouldering. It helps create that pocket and takes out a little bit of that anticipation. So when you're training, think about when you get to that that access point when you start your pocket, and maybe counter arc them away from it at a trot. But it's all about setting your horse up for success with your body position, rate, and enough pocket. So cool. Okay, let's see. I think we got time for a few more questions. Alexis Jensen asked, did I train Striker? No, I didn't. Striker was a racehorse before I got him. So he had been broke by this adorable elderly former jockey in New Mexico, had a couple starts on the track, and then went to barrel school with a woman up in Idaho. She did a phenomenal job with him. He hadn't been hauled a whole lot. Oh, and he also was team roped on for a little bit. But he hadn't been hauled to a lot of rodeos. So even though I didn't pattern Striker, I am helping season him by taking him to a lot of jackpots and rodeos. Let's see, Jesse and Joe wanted to know how many horses I have. I have 4 horses right now. I feel like a cat lady hoarding this many horses. I don't know that anyone needs 4 horses just for one cowgirl, but I have them. I have my old 4-H horse, who's the sweetest, smartest horse I've ever ridden. Just a grade mare, don't know her breeding, but she's adorable. I have my 5-year-old mare. You'll see her in a lot of my Instagram posts. She's the big, strong sorrel, looks like a stud colt. And she's wonderful. I actually bought her to train and sell, but I fell in love with her and I couldn't quite do it yet. But maybe this year I will. Then I have the giant paint horse. That is my niece's 4-H horse. His name is Elvis. He's about 17 hands tall. He is an absolute monster, but he's the goofiest, funniest horse I've ever known. Like, he's like a giant dog. And then I have Striker. So 4 horses. Okay, Emily May 18 wanted to know about starting colts on barrels. This is a great topic and a great question. When I start colts, I've never started a barrel colt, but I have a lot of 4-H colts and reining colts. And this is what I would suggest with any colt, is focus on body control. Focus on getting control of those 5 body parts, respect for the bit, flexation, suppleness, and slow work. I would not take them to the barrels too soon or ask for speed too soon. You're going to do a couple things. You're going to overtax and stress their still developing bones and muscle, and you're also going to tax their very fragile young minds. And so don't ask for speed and do not put them on the barrels before they're ready. They'll let you know. But I would focus on a lot of body control and suppleness. I also wouldn't skip groundwork. Groundwork is really important. If you don't have respect of your horse on the ground, you're sure as heck not going to get it in the saddle. But a lot of softness and flexation starting out colts of any discipline. Reining, trail horses, rope horses, and barrel horses especially. You know, my favorite trainer, Clinton Anderson, has said, no one has ever said, Clinton, this horse is too soft. I'm going to sell the dang thing. It's just too responsive. So I would focus on those things and set yourself up for success. Okay, thank you guys so much for submitting these questions. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun for me. I hope it's informative for you. If you didn't get your question answered this week, be sure to submit your questions for next week on my Instagram by commenting on my last post. Also, be sure to subscribe below. And don't miss a single episode of Wide Open Wednesday, where I might be answering your questions next week. Thanks so much, guys.